Go, and you chose to come here. We need to remember that the people who are inside of that building don't get to choose where they want to go today, what clothes they want to wear, what food they want to eat, when they want to get up, when they want to go to sleep. These decisions are all taken from them along with their names. They are referred to by numbers. And I am the coordinator for Pax Christi New Jersey. We are a region of Pax Christi USA, which is a nation section of Pax Christi International. Pax Christi International began in 1945 when French Catholics realized that they had killed, and vice versa, German Catholics in the millions. And how was it that we were going to become, once again, the body of Christ and to heal from those wounds after we had dehumanized the other? So people sometimes ask me, why Pax Christi? The Catholic Peace Movement is here. But that's exactly why. Because Pax Christi isn't just about international relations and demilitarization, disarmament. We're about the core of all of those issues, which is dehumanization. And there are fewer things more dehumanizing than this place over here. So we have something to celebrate today. And I've been standing here for 15 years now. And I don't want to meddle, and I don't want to guilt anybody who's been standing here less time. There are people who've been standing here much longer. But I kind of never thought, I've come to the understanding or come to some peace with the fact that maybe this place would never close in my lifetime. And here we are. By September 2023, that building will no longer be used as an ICE detention facility. But we need to make sure that that happens. We need to make sure that that place really does close down. And we need to make sure that the people who are there are treated with dignity, that they are released and not transferred to another facility. Now, we are all distressed at what has happened in Hudson and Essex and Bergen, where our friends were transferred away. We are still in touch with many of those people, and we will fight as hard as we can to have as many of those people as we can released, not transferred, and not deported. But what this moment in time gives us is the ability, the bandwidth, the resources to now use what we have learned after standing here for 25 years and put that to work for a national movement. What does that mean? So as Joyce was telling you, in 1994, and if you notice, a lot of people in the immigration detention movement, they point back to 1996 as being kind of the beginning of the expansion of ICE detention. This building's been here since 1994. What happened before then? In 1993, we had the first bombing at the World Trade Center. So what do? We look for a scapegoat. We look for who we could dehumanize so that we could feel safe. And that was immigrants. So places like this place opened up. And in 1995, when the uprising occurred, so many people came here because they heard asylum seekers were being held here. Asylum seekers. So all those folks that all of us peaceniks, right, are fighting for the United States to intervene in some way so that the conditions in their countries will change so that they can be safe in their countries, who are now fleeing here or being held there. So there was a huge outpouring and this movement started. And then in 1996, things got worse. and there was another outpouring. And I think you'll remember the Muslim ban, where this street was completely filled. And again, when people discovered that there were children in cages at the southern border, this street was filled, the streets When we discovered there were children in cages at the border, this street was filled and the streets of Newark were filled. And now we're learning that there are Ukrainians who are fleeing for their lives. This can't be a larger outpouring. I haven't seen anything in my lifetime like this. That we're finding that there are Ukrainians now being detained in ICE detention facilities. So what does this say to me? What does this say to you? That the error of the movement has been about focusing on one group that doesn't deserve to be in detention, rather than focusing on the problem. The real problem is not who's in the cage. The real problem is that we have cages in the first place. So we have a moment. So some people are shocked that Ukrainians are showing up at the border and being placed in cages. I'm not shocked. I'm appalled, but I am not shocked, because this is the system that we have built. This is operating the way it was designed to operate. So we need to tear down this system. We need to create a national movement. We need to make sure that this place that is still funneling people into the detention system, and will continue as long as there is an ICE facility anywhere in the country, stops funneling people into that system. And that starts with passing the Values Act, which I know somebody's going to talk about that a little bit later. Passing the Values Act so that our jails, the same jails that are prohibited from keeping people in detention right now, are now sending people to this place so they can be transferred elsewhere. That needs to stop. The second thing that needs to happen is we need a national effort to end detention. And we finally have a piece of legislation that we think won't quite go everywhere we want it to go, but will go a long way towards turning back those horrible laws that we passed in 1996. That will actually give discretion to judges to allow them to consider someone's criminal history and whether or not that makes them deportable. We don't think that we should be deporting anybody for their criminal history. We have a criminal legal system for that, to punish people for their alleged crimes, right? So it will go a long way towards decoupling the criminal punishment system, the criminal legal system, and the ICE enforcement system. It's called New Way Forward. We have postcards here. We are urging Senator Booker to be the first senator to introduce this legislation in the Senate. And we've actually had meetings towards that end, and his office was fairly receptive. We need to push very hard for a national movement, a national solution to end this horrible, dehumanizing, all these places, everywhere. Thank you.